So we are going to have our award ceremony, and for our 37th international exhibition, and Ann Knapp, who is our first VP and chair of this show, will help lead us through this. So Ann, bring it on home.
I'm unmuting. Okay. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Northwest Pastel Society members and all the other pastels who entered our 37th International Open Exhibition. And I just wanted to say for a minute, this is an open show and it is international. And we have quite a number of Canadian entrants. And I have one participant who has an alternate email that I believe is from Poland, but she must live in the country part-time. So we are international. This show will go live on May 1st on onlinegalleryshows.com platform. So this is a novel show idea, and we appreciate the artists for embracing the concept. Because of your willingness to be part of new ideas and learning new skills, like shipping an unframed pastel painting, this show is already a big success. So we had 117 artists enter the show. The normal for us is up to 85. So we have 84 Northwest Pastel Society members and 33 non-members this year. This is an increase of over 37% compared to years past. So that's a big deal. So our biggest hope is that this will also be a successful selling show, and we wish all the artists best of luck. So I want to take this moment, I'm getting my page here, to congratulate and announce the new signature pastelists from Northwest Pastel Society. First is, and pardon me if I foul up your name, I did Google how to pronounce it, but it could have been an alternate pronunciation. But I have Bithia Bowman, who's in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Margaret Carpenter Arnett from LaConner, Washington. Kim Eshelman from Battleground, Washington. Marlene Kingman from Richland, Washington. Donna Nevitt Radke from Anacortes, Washington. And Jill Story from Boise, Idaho. So give your all a big clap. And let's, I just think I lost you.
So I just shared my screen, and
okay, there you go. Okay,
yeah.
I'm like, oh no, it went away. So anyway, so
to...
congratulations to you all. That is great. And 6 new ones. That seems like a lot. So as the lead for the 37th International Exhibition, I would also like to thank Liz Haywood-Sullivan for agreeing to serve as juror of the online show, which I think that's actually more difficult, especially in the prize aspect of not seeing really the big work and getting to, get your face up to it, being online. So it's kind of a little bit difficult, but she did a beautiful job. And she's also going to be part of this online celebration, and she's teaching a workshop. So not only was she diligent and ahead of the scheduled timing, which all of the artists just love getting early announcement that they were in the show. It helps us with planning. So that was great. Thank you. And she has created this amazing show, and it has such a wide variety of subjects and styles. I hope that everyone finds inspiration among the beautiful works that she's chosen for this exhibition. And thank you all.
Thanks, Ann. So I have the pleasure and honor of announcing and introducing to you our juror and judge, Liz Haywood-Sullivan. And as you all know, Liz's pedigree is quite long and well-earned. She is a world-renowned artist who has unapologetically devoted her time and her talent to this pastel medium. as one of the true leaders in the world, in the globe. Her award-winning paintings have been exhibited and collected all over this planet. And in 1996, she left her career in design to follow this passion for fine art, and has since then worked as a dedicated professional artist, art educator, and arts advocator. And as you may know, Liz was the president of the International Association of Pastel Societies of IAPS for 4 years, from 2013 to 2017, where she managed 3 international conventions and 12 international exhibitions. She's on the board of advisors of the Pastel Journal, and she's earned her master's pastelist status at the Pastel Society of America, and has the Master Circle and the Eminent Pastel distinctions at IAPS. Her paintings have appeared in art magazines around the world, and she appears in 12 artist networking videos and in numerous books, including authoring her own very popular instruction book, Painting Brilliant Skies and Water in Pastels, which is a North Flight and should be in everyone's art library. In fact, I highly recommend it to all my students as a must-have book. And it's been certainly the foundation of all her workshops, including the one that she's going to teach here in my new workshop space next week. And while the workshop is full, there are still spots open for her demo the night before. So if you still want to see her live and in person, to do her magic, there's still a chance. So in addition to her painting, Liz's current schedule includes teaching workshops nationally and internationally. She judges and demonstrates for numerous pastel societies and art organizations, and has been a featured artist, instructor, and speaker to just so many events. Her pedigree goes on and on and on. She's a signature member of the Connecticut Pastel Society and the Pastel Painters Society of Cape Cod, and a current member of the prestigious Summergallen Club in New York City and the American Impressionist Society. She is currently the president of the North Rivers Art Society. She just can't stop leading these artists. And what she's been doing for the last 2 years. And as you can just imagine, we are very lucky to get on her schedule. So without further ado, I am so honored and thrilled to introduce Liz here as our juror judge for our 37th International Exhibition. Liz.
Hey, Amanda. Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you all. And thank you so much for that introduction. I don't know when I found the time to do all that. Anyhow.
Looking for you here to spotlight you. Hold on.
Okay. All righty. I'll wait till you get that up. It's always a mystery. Okay, there we are. This show was just an amazing show. You talk about the breadth of images that I selected for awards. Well, that's only because of what was submitted. And again, I'll just reiterate, thank you to everybody who submitted work to this. Thank you to everybody who put themselves out there to be juried, which oftentimes it's the first time, and that takes a leap of faith to do. And congratulations to everyone who is in the show. And of course, congratulations to the people who I'll be reading off in a few moments as to the awards. Before I get started into the awards, since I've got you all here, everybody's in front of me here, I like to to help demystify a little bit about the judging process and speak to how I judge, why I judge, and what I'm looking for. I generally, and whether it's an online show, in person, or remotely. And so I'm looking for 3 primary criteria. And the first one is intent. And intent speaks to many different things. Intent starts out with, why did you select to do this painting in the first place? What did you want to say? And so that goes to, why did you pull over from the side of the road to take that picture? Or why did you set your easel up and choose that particular image to paint? Why did you choose that model or that still life to set up? What was that little gem of, I want to do this? So not only, but then it goes further than that. It's not only what you chose to paint, why you chose to paint it, but then it leads into things like focal point. You know, what do you want me to look at? Which leads to composition. So those are all part of what intent is. Then I look at your execution, of course. How did you go about it? Your mark making, your use of the materials, what paper surface you used, and how well you did it, how well you executed the image. And then the final one is presentation. And presentation, if you don't mind my kind of talking a little bit more about that, some people wonder why presentation is so important. And presentation can take place in many different ways. Presentation can, for instance, when you're submitting your work online, you know, did you crop it in so all I see is the image? Or do I see the easel in the background and your kitchen? Is it crooked? Is it out of focus? Did you put something up that was too small for me to see? And so that's online presentation. In-person presentation is a completely different thing. Somewhere along the way, when art was being created, there was this thing of, we have to put it in a frame. And so your art doesn't stop just at the painting. It goes all the way out to the edge of the frame, and how that appears when I see the paintings in person. Why presentation is so important. I'll tell you a story that happened to me once at IAPS, where we had 3 judges of selection, and they each had a scoring of 1 to 10. There was one image that received a 30. So that if this was an online show, it would have automatically have been the best in show. When that painting was brought in to be hung in physically in the show at the gallery, it should have been rejected and not even accepted to hang. It was in a very flimsy frame, but what was worse was that it was matted. The mat was absolutely filthy. And I know the difference between a mat that I actually at the same show had to unframe a painting that came in and had some mat damage from shipping. That's a completely different thing. This had fingerprints. It had, you could tell it was an old dirty mat. The glass had fingerprints and fly tracks all over it, but the worst transgression was it had been painted on a piece of Strathmore paper. It wasn't the Strathmore paper, but it was the fact that the painting, which was exquisite, had been rolled up in a tight roll at some point and had crease marks like every 2 inches, where you could see it had been rolled up and it had crushed it. So that painting, which was a best in show quality of painting, the presentation just absolutely knocked it out. And so when you are submitting work, consider that. How you present it is part of the package. So anyhow, so those are the three main things that I'm looking at when I look at a show. When I first see a show, I don't judge immediately. I go through the show. I want to get a sense of the breadth of the show, a sense of the quality of the show, a sense of the topics that are being presented to me. And then I go back through and I give each individual painting. I'll do this on another day. I judge over several days. And I'll look at each individual painting as if it's up on the wall, and I wait for it to speak to me and tell me, what is your intent? What was the artist trying to say here? And go through again, and then I'll go through and take a look at the execution after I listen to what the intent is. And so it's a several day process. I take the judging process very seriously. And so I would love to see this show in person. I know that there were circumstances this year, and it just, however, having an online show, we now have all sorts of opportunities, especially for people who are logging into your website from a distance, being able to actually see the shows. We've got more opportunities these days because online has become a much greater presence. So good luck to everybody on sales, and I hope that it's very successful there. So does anybody have any questions about what I just said before I get into the awards? I'm going to take a look and see. All right, I don't see any questions from anybody. So at this point, here we go. I wrote some comments about them all, so I'm going to read the comments. Let me screen share here. All right, here we go, everybody. So, welcome to the 37th Annual International Open Exhibition by the Northwest Pastel Society, and here are your 2023 award winners. I am going to start with the Jurors Award winners, and this one is the Blick Art Materials Award to Janice Ellison for Overflow. And my comments on this are the following. The color is underplayed in this beautiful study of muted neutrals in flowing water. Perfect subtle value work in the water itself. You just take a look at the value work in this piece. It's a much came in quite close on the subject, beautiful composition on it, and just a lovely execution, and especially in the value work on this piece. All right, another Jurors Award to the Dakota Award goes to Jill Story for Rhapsody in Yellow. Beautiful movement and color in this painting of Chamiza from the Southwest. I love the subtle touches of complementary purple. Hold on a second, there we go. Layered in, which creates a loss of focus and detail, giving this yellow flowers center stage. So take a look at how she has used this, actually quite a strong value or color of purple, but because it's on the kind of a red ochre background here, underpainting, I presume, it goes very muted, very foggy, And so creates these areas of quiet and receding areas that allow the chamiza flowers to pop out. Color harmonies in this piece are very, very lovely. All right. Oops. Jurors Award from King of Frames going to Chelsea Hernandez for Great Gray Among Yellow. Exquisite rendering of the feathers on this owl with an arresting stare. The out of focus background supports the subject, and the composition of the pose is so owl-like. This owl is just, you can't escape looking at it. I can imagine if this was in person and on your wall. Take a look at where the beak, it's like 1/3, 1/3. It really captures your attention and then moves down, and beautiful, beautiful work. Beautiful, gorgeous work on the feathers in this piece. Okay, Jurors Award. Blue Earth Pastels to Andrew McDermott for Raining at Canby. I love all the color this artist applies to a gray, rainy scene. Just take a look at the colors he's got in here. You know, the turquoises and the blues and all the different types of purples going on. You know that's not there. I live in a gray area too. And boy, digging deep to find these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Yet you still know it's a gray, rainy day. But when you get in closer, there is another fascinating dimension to this painting. The artist has employed various tools to the pastel surface, creating textural dimensional movement lines that make it remarkably dynamic. If you take a look in closer, there are these, he's using some type of a comb-like device to create these movement lines, which just, they're swooping up. Oops, I'm sorry. You're not supposed to see that. You're not supposed to see that either. Anyway, movement lines that are coming up into the image right there is so important. I love this one right here, which comes across the umbrella and gives such a sense of actual rain coming down. It just, the painting without them is a beautiful piece. The painting with these dimensional marks is superb. Nice job, Andrew. Okay. Mitchell Albala, the Golden Artists Color Jurors Award, Ballard Bridge, North Pier. There's amazing detail implied, but not drawn in this atmospheric painting. The limited palette of pinks and purples captures a fleeting moment in time. The implication here is an incredibly busy scene, industrial, lots of all sorts of stuff going on, and yet there's very little there. It's masterfully handled, and this piece is just, it's all about the atmosphere. It's all about this brief moment in time. I could see just passing by on a neighboring bridge and just looking out and glimpsing this, and the just very, very beautifully, brilliantly handled in reduction of detail and it becoming an atmospheric piece. Okay, the Holbein Pastel Set Jurors Award goes to LaDonna Kruger for Gathering Sunshine. This riot of color and texture is heightened by the contrast of having been painted on black paper. Delightful detail and color choices in the flower rendering. There's so much to look at in this piece, and it just has such a delightful execution, mark making on it. I love the background, even though it's got a lot of detail, because it's so graphic and these are so organic. They don't conflict with each other. There's very much a kind of a Van Gogh-like look to this too. The yellow here in the background actually connects with the yellow here and helps to unify the whole piece. Just stunning. The Terry Ludwig Pastels Jurors Award goes to Gabriel Koch from Dennis from Life. And beautiful stylized contemporary portrait. The halo around the head accentuates the diagonal movement coming up from the opposing shoulder from the bottom right corner, giving a remarkable sense of movement to this portrait of a stationary figure. You start here, you come across the neck, you come up around here, and this movement here with the hair is just beautifully cited in the picture plane, the negative space around it. And I love it's almost a, the WPA artwork from the 1930s, the stylization that I haven't seen much work like this, contemporary work, and I found it beautifully handled and very arresting to look at. Okay, the Barbara Benedetti Newton Award goes to Bithia Berman for her painting Browsing. This piece is a tour de force of handling the pastel medium. The detail in the books is beyond remarkable. The one-point perspective draws you in as if you're walking through the story yourself. It's pretty astonishing. I don't remember what the size is of this particular piece, but the detail is astonishing. When you look at it online, just scroll in and take a look at, you can read every single title. You can read what's up here on this, the menu for the aisles. And I love the counterpoint of the organic figure here that is so incredibly important. If you took that figure out, it would be too busy, and gives you a focal area to focus on here. Again, beyond my capabilities of thinking of doing a painting like this, and a tremendous amount of respect for how well it was done. Sorry about that. Okay, another Jurors Award to Chris Chapin for the Golden Hour. This is the Women Painters of Washington Award. Lovely horizontal composition of rolling hills lit by magic hour sunlight. Masterful color and value choices in both the sunlit and shadowed areas. It's incredibly compelling. We've all seen images like this and tried to capture them, and Chris did a wonderful job with this. Beautiful composition. How many times have people put roads right down the middle? So important to do something like this, to take it off from the corner here, coming up to your 1/3. And I love the lost and found edge. You come up across this rise here and you just disappear into whatever is beyond. But the more you look at it, then you come back down and you're like, oh, look at the light catching this, and look at the light catching this, and then look at the colors. Look at what's this color? What's this color? Perfect coloration in the shadows. Beautifully, beautifully done. All right, now that was our last Jurors Award. So the next one is the Maggie Price Award, going to Kathleen Sechrist for Reflecting the Landscape. The title is your guide to this lovely abstract. You can find many landscape narratives throughout this piece with its lyrical mark making and contrasts of color, edge, pattern, and texture, a piece that holds your attention. There's so many different landscapes in here. You can see the edge of land where there's some trees. I see areas where it looks like I'm just looking straight up into the sky with clouds, the edge of a field, even a landscape on the side with water and bushes and things like that. It's beautifully done, and I especially love these marks and the mark making that's running through it. Quiet on the perimeters, and everything is happening inside, and perfect title on this piece. Imagine how different it would be if this was titled Untitled. Reflecting the landscape just gives you all sorts of reasons to get engaged with the piece, and to gives you an open door into what the artist was thinking about when she created it. All right. Third place goes to Kim Eshelman, the Bill McEnroe Award for The Keeper. This is a vibrant portrait of an individual tree. Interesting mark making throughout the piece, with good control of values to create distance. Beautiful color harmonies, especially the touches of blue in the shadows and distance as a complement to the orange of the tree trunk. I really love these little touches of blue to just, green can be so green sometimes. And look at the purple up here, just up from that bright orange on that tree trunk. And it's just, it's going back up in, it just really accentuates how tall that tree is, because it's not only the drawing is saying that it's going into distance, but the color is taking you up there. And detail is in the foreground, and then you start to lose it more, and you've got this beautiful distance happening. Lovely composition, beautifully done. Second place goes to Toby Reed, the Director's Award for Coming In. The sense of flowing water this artist achieves in this painting is impressive. There is a beautiful sense of aerial perspective from the blurred back foreground to the detailed middle waterfall to the quiet reflected light in the background. Nice use of value and color choice throughout the entire painting. I love that you come in, of course, the composition, the drawing, these strong diagonals are lovely, but brings you in. This is out of focus. You move into a focal area in the center of the painting here, and you go out of focus because of lack of detail up in this area. So your eye stays down in here. However, those areas are incredibly important to the entire composition. It would not be the same painting without the support of those quieter areas. And then the other thing I love is the value work that's going on in this water. So often people pick up white, they see white water and they pick up their white pastels. And here you've got glistening white from some sunlight glinting off of the wet rocks here. You've got your lightest lights up here. None of it appears down here. This is all more of a, not quite a mid-tone, but a dark light value range. And there's so much beauty in here, and there's so many gorgeous colors in those dark lights. It's not just gray, it's not just green, there's purples and blues and teals, and it's would love to see this one in person. Beautiful job. Thank you. All right. The first place President's Award goes to Britt Block for The Way Things Really Are. This painting intrigues on so many different levels, appearing simple, but it's remarkably complex. It goes from beautiful lace-like patterning on the top to the mysterious depths beneath the surface. I particularly appreciate the changes in value in the shadowed leaf patterns. It must be even more impressive to see in person at 54 inches by 40 inches in size. the more you look at this piece, the more you see. It's just masterfully done. Take a look at the reflected patterning of these leaves on top of this ice piece here. But then as it moves over a darker area underneath, the change in value, change in color that's happening in those areas, it's absolutely mesmerizing. And you get into what's happening in the deep. Again, a piece that would be fascinating to see actually in person, because photography just doesn't capture our artworks as well. For it to come across as it does in a photograph, it really must be something in person. And our best in show goes to Eileen, and if I don't say your name right, Genger Stanfield, for Bountiful. A masterful painting of light, color, and absolutely perfect values. The artist guides your eye through the use of detail in the backlit highlights. Those things, along with her mastery of drawing the figure, made this painting a standout from the first time I saw it. This painting just jumped off the page. Honestly, it was the her handling of these values in these shadowed areas. It is because of her mark making and her execution, they're not worried. They're not, this artist understands color, understands value. They're not overworked. They are picked up, they are applied, and they are right. I love some of these lost and found passages. Look at the edge of this basket into the background. Maybe this is her arm up into her blouse. You know, the lost and found edge right in through here. Just exquisite. Not, knowing what details you need to say what you want to say for your intent. What are the details that are important? And if it's not important, leave it out. It takes so much skill to learn that ability. Even something like, look at this, the color of that blue that's sitting up there. It really should be screaming and jumping out at you, but it doesn't take you away from this woman's glance and the light along her arm and along here. You just keep jumping from beautiful area to beautiful area in this piece. Exquisitely done, and very, very pleased to award this my best in show. So there is your show, and I really applaud, again, I applaud all the award winners. I applaud everybody who submitted. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful show. Congratulations. Does anybody have any questions?
This is your chance, guys.
You got me. Well, you'll have me next week too. No?
Liz, what a wonderful way to highlight the beauty of each of these pieces and how different each one was.
Yeah.
And really showcasing, the beauty in all the different mark making and all the different styles, and really articulating that so well. It was really, thank you.
Well, thank you for giving me so many wonderful artworks to choose from. And it was, again, I have to say, it's like it just keeps the quality and the imagination and intent. It just, the bar keeps getting higher and higher and higher. And the works, and that's the thing I love about the medium. There's so many different expressions. I see so many, such a broad range of expression in not only topic, but execution. I see so much more in this medium than any other medium. It just is always surprising and always just astonishing and enjoyable to see. So, okay. Hand it back to
it is amazing how an hour and 23 minutes can go by. And I wasn't captivated by like going outside. I was really wonderful to just enjoy, you know, what we all enjoy, which is like you know, this pastel medium and seeing how others have executed their pieces. So if I'm checking to see if there are other questions here by the group.
Somebody asked, how much does the title of the piece affect the judging? Not often, not much. Depends upon what judging profile I'm using, whether it's online juried shows or show submit or something else. A lot of times you don't see sizes. They don't give you size. They don't give you the titles. The only thing you know is the medium. And so oftentimes you don't see it. I think in that particular case, the fact that I liked the image of that abstract before I even saw the title of it. But then the title was like, oh, you know, it helped. Thing about a title for a painting is that it gives you a little doorway into what the artist is thinking. If you want to just keep it mysterious, you don't want to share, you want to be very mysterious, title it untitled. But if you want to engage people, and if you want to sell artwork, I think that putting a good title on a piece actually can go a long way.
There's another question about elaborating on lost and found edges.
Okay, lost and found edge is when you have two different items. So for instance, you had the woman's blouse and you had the edge of the basket, and you can't see the edge because they're painted in the same value. So there's no edge between them. There's no defined edge. So there's a color shift, but there's not a value shift. Or it could be an area where, again, what it is it's two separate objects and you don't see an edge between them. They could be the same color, could be the same value, but two separate objects where you lose the edge.
Any other questions we have for Liz while we have her here online to ask questions? We'll scan through here, and just as a reminder that she is coming to the Portland area next week to be teaching a 3-day workshop here, and we'll be doing a demo the night before for people who either couldn't go to the workshop or you know, is open to the public, and that is you know, still open for other people to join in. So you can register online on our website if you still want to see her in person next week.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you very much. Well, I hope you get out and enjoy the rest of your sunny day. I'm coming in from Boston and it's mid-afternoon now and the gray has come in, and I guess you're handing your rain off to us. So it's going to start raining soon and all day tomorrow. So
Liz, you brought in a whole bunch of people today. I think I saw the participants top out at 91 and people are now, you know, heading off to their day. So if no one has any other questions, excited to see anyone in person in these upcoming events. And Liz, thanks so much. If everyone can unmute and just give Liz a big thank you.
Thank you,
We'll
Liz.
sign
Thank you.
off.
We'll see you next
Thank
Wednesday.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Great.